The story begins when Captain Bodden, a sailor leading a merchant ship through the Caribbean Sea, is suddenly attacked by a pirate ship commanded by Captain Connor. Connor's crew quickly boards the ship and takes out most of the sailors, though they fight back to secure their goods and valuables. Unfortunately, they stand no chance. They are all captured.
Captain on deck!
Connor orders that they all be eliminated and that only Bodden, the captain, be kept alive. He questions Bodden after finding a stash of gold that belongs to him on the ship. He wants to know where it came from, and under pressure, Bodden reveals that it is from Cayman Brack Island. Connor immediately changes course and heads for the island, taking Bodden with him as a hostage.
Good night, Captain.
Come, my piece of gold, bearing my mark. So many years have I searched these seas.
Connor's real goal is to find a woman named Ursel, also known as Bloody Mary. She was once his partner and lover, but she betrayed him, stole his treasure, and disappeared. Now Connor believes he has finally found her location. At Cayman Brack, a very beautiful island that looks safe and peaceful, the people live a simple, close life. Custode Drayton helps oversee the island and watches over the community, while Pastor Bradley welcomes people to a small church, where they pray for the safe return of the sailors and Captain Bodden. In the meantime, a new boat is being prepared to search for the sailors, after waiting for days for their arrival. Meanwhile, Captain Bodden is married to Ercell, though he knows little about her past, and they met on the island when she started a new life after fleeing Connor. Ursel is a good wife and also a caring mother. Waiting for her husband to return, she is calm but always alert, as if she expects danger. After taking a look at the sea, with no sign of her husband's ship, she walks back home to meet her son, Isaac, a 13-year-old smart little boy who uses a wheelchair. He loves his father very much, but as days go by without his father's return, who promised to be there for his birthday, he becomes sad. Ursel comforts him and says his father will come back, even though she suspects something is not right. Living with them is Lizzie, Bodden's younger sister, a lively young lady who wants more from life than the small island offers. So she secretly plans to run away with her boyfriend, Weston, and they both dream of exploring the world together.
Then why are they sending another vessel to go search for him?
Your father's been late his whole life. Man late to our own wedding.
Shortly after, Connor's ship arrives at the island shore, and 3 of his men sneak onto the island and go to Ursel's house. They think it will be an easy job, because they expect only a woman and a disabled boy. But on their way there, the men find Lizzie's boyfriend, Weston, before he can run away with her. Unfortunately, one of them eliminates him in a very brutal way by cutting his throat. Lizzie arrives soon after at the planned location and sees what happened. She is completely heartbroken as her hopes of love and escape are destroyed, and this painful moment changes her from an innocent girl into someone who can become violent. The men then enter Ursel's house and threaten her and her son. Isaac is very scared and hides in the basement, just as his mother told him to. The pirates think they have trapped a weak and helpless woman, and they destroy her things and threaten her to reveal the location of the gold she took from Connor. Surprisingly, Ursel fights back fiercely. The fight is heated, showing that she has skills far beyond just being an ordinary housewife. She uses whatever she can find around her kitchen, tools, furniture, and anything nearby. The fight is messy and desperate, but they manage to subdue and restrain her, while one of the men returns to the main crew to give them the information. They torture and try to hang her with a rope, but her son screams from his hideout, calling her name, and immediately she knew she had to save them both. So she frees herself, puts up a proper fight, and eventually eliminates both men. From his hiding place under the basement, her son watches everything and realizes his mother is not who he thought she was. The truth about her past slowly begins to appear. Soon the rest of the pirates arrive on the island, and their attack is fast and cruel, though the islanders try to defend themselves, but they are no match for the pirates. The leader of the community, Custode Drayton, dies terribly when the pirates turn his own cannon against him and blow him apart. Lizzie runs through the island in shock and sadness, trying to escape the chaos, and around her, she sees destruction everywhere. Dead bodies, burning buildings, and people screaming. In only a few minutes, the peaceful island paradise turns into a nightmare. Captain Connor arrives at Ursell's house expecting his men to have already subdued her. Instead, he finds the dead bodies of his scouts. While Ursel is gone, she escaped with Isaac, carrying him in a wheelchair because he could not walk faster. And while leaving, the wheelchair left marks on the sand that Connor's men can follow. Meanwhile, Pastor Bradley finds his way to Ursel's house and meets them as they fled, and he knows a secret her family does not know. Pastor Bradley was once a pirate called Blackheart Bradley before he left that life behind and became a man of faith. Ercell trusts him because he is an old ally. She leaves Isaac with him and tells them to meet at a designated place while she searches for Lizzie. Connor finally catches up with Ursel in the jungle. It is the first time they have seen each other in many years. There is a lot of painful history between them, while Connor looks at her with anger and obsession mixed. He asks the question that has troubled him for years. Why did you betray me? He cannot accept that she simply walked away from him, as he also demands to know where his missing gold is. Ursel refuses to tell Connor what he wants to know, and Connor then reveals her weakness. He has captured her husband. He warns her that if she ever wants to see her husband alive again, she must cooperate with him. The situation changes everything for Ursel. She then makes a deal with him to return the gold in exchange for her husband. In the meantime, Ursel escapes from Connor and later reunites with Lizzie and Isaac. The pastor chooses to stay behind to slow Connor and his men, sacrificing himself so the family can have more time to escape. In the end, the former pirate finds redemption by giving his life to protect innocent people. Ursel takes Isaac and Lizzie to a hidden place on the island, a huge rock, but it is much more than that, because inside it is a secret system of caves that only Ursel knows how to enter. The caves are her hiding place and her backup plan. She has secretly prepared them for years, and inside are many weapons, guns, rifles, swords, knives, and deadly traps made to stop anyone who enters.
Bloody, bloody Mary!
Hidden there is also a large amount of gold, the same treasure Connor has been searching for across the Caribbean. At this moment, the truth finally comes out. Isaac and Lizzie look at the weapons, the gold, and Ursel with shock, realizing she is not the woman they thought they knew. Ursel can no longer keep her secret. She tells them who she really is, the most feared female pirate in the Caribbean, a woman who once sailed with Captain Connor, and was just as violent and dangerous as he was. Ursel explains how she became the person she is, having been born as Miriam and growing up under the cruel rule of the East India Company. As a young girl, she worked as a servant, living almost like a slave for the British. Her family was the only thing she cared about, and when she was just 12 years old, pirates attacked the ship she was on. Her parents were killed right in front of her, and after the pirates took her with them, not as a prisoner, but to become one of their crew. To stay alive, she had to adapt to their violent world. Though she suffered terrible treatment and cruelty, she also learned how to fight and survive. Over time, she became known as Bloody Mary because becoming dangerous was the only way she could survive. She also tells them about her connection to Connor, who was not only her captain, but also her lover, and their relationship was built on survival and pain. After some time, Ercell wanted a different life, one with peace, a family, and a chance to live a normal life. So she betrayed Connor, stole his gold, and disappeared. She created a new identity, married a kind man, and had a son. She buried the Bloody Mary part of herself so deeply that she hoped she would never have to become that person again. Isaac is shocked, His mother is a killer. Ercell explains that everything she did was to survive and to protect the family, and she will do anything to save his father.
So you're a criminal?
This criminal is your only hope. Those are tales. Real pirates are murderers.
Ursel prepares to sneak back into her house, where Connor and his crew camp with her. In the meantime, she takes weapons from the cave and the box of gold. She uses a secret path, a tunnel in an old well, that leads from the cave to the area near her house, where Connor and his men are staying. Moving quietly through the darkness, her old fighting skills return, and she silently kills several guards with quick attacks. Eventually, she finds her husband locked up in chains inside a room. Their reunion is emotional, though they are relieved to see each other alive, but the danger around them ruins the moment. Bodden asks her about what Connor revealed about her past, especially her past relationship with the pirate captain. Ursel does not lie to him, she admits it, and explains that she did what she had to do to survive. However, they do not have time to talk for long, because the pirates already figure she's around after seeing the dead bodies. Unfortunately, she is unable to free him. Connor is the only one holding the key to Bodden's chains. With no other choice, Ursel has to leave her husband behind for the moment, promising that she will come back for him as she quietly escapes from the camp.
There's this doctor that helps people like Isaac.
No regrets.
Left with no other option, Ursel decides to face Connor directly, and she plans to give him what he wants in exchange for her husband's freedom. She carries the box filled with gold and walks openly into Connor's camp, fully aware of the danger around her. While standing before Connor and his men, she demands that her husband be released. The situation is tense, and Connor brings Bodden out, though injured and bruised, but still alive. Ercell shows them the gold, and for a brief moment, it looks like the trade might actually happen. Unfortunately, Connor never intended to make a fair deal. For years, he has been driven by his desire for revenge against Ercell, the woman who once betrayed and embarrassed him. To him, the gold is less important than getting revenge, so he hid a sniper nearby, waiting with his gun aimed directly at Bodden. The whole exchange is actually a trap, and suddenly, a fight breaks out, where Connor and Bodden struggle against each other, while Ursel begs Connor to spare her husband's life. In desperation, she pushes the box of gold toward him, hoping it will save him. Unfortunately, Connor cruelly eliminates Bodden anyway, right in front of Ursel's eyes. Her husband, the good man who loved her and gave her a new life, is murdered. Ursel is shattered by grief, as her pain quickly turns into anger. Immediately, she then reveals her final plan. The box of gold was filled with explosives. She lights it up, and a massive explosion tears through the camp, eliminating many of Connor's men, including Lee's son and Connor's second-in-command. Using the confusion and smoke around her, Ursel manages to escape, wounded and bleeding, and the loss of her husband is crushing her, but she is still alive. She returns to the caves, preparing for them, determined to make him pay for it. Lee is heartbroken and angry after his son is eliminated, and he immediately confronts Connor, finally realizing the truth. According to Lee, this was never really about the gold. The gold was only an excuse. Connor's real problem was his obsession with Ursel and his anger over her betrayal, and that obsession has now destroyed everything. Lee tries to attack Connor, but unfortunately, Connor reacts faster and shoots him down. To stop the rest of the crew from turning against him, Connor gives them a new reason to continue the hunt. He tells them that even if the gold is lost, Ursel still has a huge bounty on her head. The British Empire wants her captured alive, and if they deliver her, all their crimes will be forgiven, and they will finally be free men. Eventually, the remaining crew agrees to follow him and continue the chase.
I will not throw another sailor's life into the jaws of death. Offering the captors of Bloody Mary a lifetime pardon. Liberty! Liberty!
Connor and his men finally track Ursel to the cave system after following the trail of her blood to the entrance. Upon entering the caves, it quickly turns into a battlefield because Ursel has been preparing for this moment for a long time. She has placed traps all through the dark tunnels. Because she knows the caves so well, she uses every shadow and hiding place to her advantage. Even though Isaac and Lizzie are terrified, they help her fight back rather than hide helplessly. One by one, Connor's men are eliminated inside the caves as Ursel fights with guns, knives, and hand-to-hand combat, and the darkness helps her. During the fighting, the pirate who murdered Lizzie's boyfriend finds her. He tries to assault her, but Lizzie is no longer frightened. She uses one of Ursel's traps to eliminate him, and finally gets revenge. Afterward, she takes back the pendant he had stolen from Weston's body. Ursel understands that even if she wins the battle in the caves, the danger is not over, as the British Navy is already near the island. Connor has either lit or plans to light a fire signal to bring them there, and because of this, Ursel decides for Lizzie and Isaac to leave the island after her signal. She takes Isaac to a small sailboat hidden near the cliff, where she tells him how to sail away and find help if possible, but most importantly, stay alive. It is a heartbreaking moment as a mother sends her son away to protect him from the violence. Surprisingly, Lizzie didn't follow Isaac. Instead, she turned back to help Ursel. While Isaac leaves, he discovers a hidden large amount of gold under the floorboards of the boat. The gold she offered Connor was only a small part of her real treasure, and even if she dies, her son will still have a future. Isaac is shocked when he discovers the hidden gold. He realizes his mother has been protecting his inheritance all along. The cave becomes quiet while all of Connor's men are dead, and only Connor is left alive as he stands alone in the darkness, surrounded by the bodies of his crew. His obsession with Ursel has destroyed everything: his gold, his men, and now all he wants is revenge. Connor calls out to Ursel and offers a different ending, saying they should finish their fight outside on top of the bluff, like old pirates, no traps, hiding, and tricks, just the two of them fighting with swords. Ursel agrees, though tired and injured, but filled with pain and anger, she refuses to run away.
How about we step into the light? Grand.
Bloody grand.
She leaves the cave and climbs to the top of the bluff, where they meet. The final battle begins as Connor and Ursel face each other with swords in their hands, and the fight is messy. Both of them are good fighters, but Connor is stronger. He has waited years for this moment, and attacks at his best. Ursel fights as hard as she can, but Connor slowly overpowers her, and eventually he knocks away her weapon and forces her to the ground. He asks her to surrender once, then again, but she refuses. She would rather die than give in to him. Then Connor prepares to eliminate her, and talks about how she betrayed him, and how he spent years hunting her. But Connor makes one mistake. He forgets about Lizzie. She survived and followed them to the top of the bluff. While she is holding a gun, she shoots at Connor, but misses him. Even so, the shot distracts him for a moment, and he turns away from Ercell. Then Ercell quickly grabs her sword and stabs Connor in the heart. And finally, he dies by her hand, as his body falls to the ground on top of the bluff. The end. Thank you for sticking to the end of my video. Please do me the biggest favor by leaving a like, comment, and subscribe, and I hope to see you in the next video.